I've been wanting to make a video on this for some time. You know, the people who are anti-mask, that COVID-19 is a big conspiracy. Now, I could dump a ton of scientific reports that would completely destroy everything that they're saying, but they wouldn't actually listen. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do instead. A lot of the things that... Okay, let's get something straight first. Trump doesn't care whether you live or die. I know that even if you support him, he also doesn't care about you. Now, we've seen him go out and he says something of which he has no knowledge whatsoever. He's not a doctor. He doesn't have even the most basic training in any kind of medicine or anything. So he says something publicly which is wrong, and then he gets corrected by Dr. Fauci. And then he proceeds to undermine Dr. Fauci by saying that he's working for the Democrats. He doesn't know what he's talking about because a guy with a PhD doesn't know what he's talking about, etc. So that's really what this is Trump undermining Fauci. But here's the thing. One of the things people respond with is, so you think the government cares about you? Well, no. I don't think the government cares about me. But I do think the government cares about having to deal with an epidemic. I do think the government cares about having to deal with an economic crisis. I think they do care about that. I do think that particularly a country with universal health care, such as my own Canada, the government doesn't want to divert more resources to the healthcare system, because it would be completely inefficient, considering that they wouldn't have to be diverted to begin with if you deal with the actual problem. If it never becomes a big problem, then you don't really have to divert resources for it. Unless you're really dumb and you make everything worse by claiming there is no such thing. I mean, we've seen the COVID rates for the United States as compared to every other country, save Brazil. And God save Brazil, because they're going to need it. See, that's the thing here. This isn't about the government caring about you. Of course they don't care about you. They do care about the economy. They do care about having to spend resources on dealing with taking care of the problem. That they do care about. Unless you have some incompetent baboon in the White House who is only undermining all this to make himself look better. I mean, Trump even literally referred to 130,000 cases, or was it 130,000 deaths? I think it was cases, 130,000 cases to be acceptable, an achievement, a good thing. So if you take, like, what is it, like the 130,000 Americans that have died as of COVID, and then say, but the flu kills more people. Like, but the thing is, we can't actually do anything about the flu. We can do something about COVID. I mean, do you understand that that's 130,000 people that didn't have to die? Do you understand that? I mean, I know it's hard for some right-wingers to acknowledge that human life has value and then call us genocidal monsters because we kicked the Nazis' asses and also killed more people than lived in the Soviet Union, and 100 million dead in China, because that would be beneficial to the country somehow, even though that doesn't make any sense and is mathematically impossible. But I digress. You do realize that that's exactly what you're doing. You're basically justifying that 130,000 people dying. Well, it's not that bad. But you know those 130,000 lives had value, right? And that they didn't have to die. I mean, you still go on about 9/11 and 3,000 people dying, but you're, like, saying that 130,000 people dying now doesn't matter. I mean, how does that work in your mind? It's just really crazy. This doesn't even make... This doesn't make any sense. I'm not getting how this is supposed to work. It's just frankly insanity. But I want you to realize what Trump is doing here. He's literally undermining a medical professional. I'm pretty sure he's a doctor. Pretty sure. He's undermining a doctor trying to save lives for the sake of his own political career. Think about that. The guy is... Maybe he genuinely believes the nonsense that's coming out of his mouth. I mean, maybe Trump really believes it. That this COVID outbreak isn't real because it would hurt his presidency. Think about that. He's literally putting his own political career ahead of 130,000 lives and is lying to you for his own political gain, and you're believing it. And I'm going to say, I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say this. This would never have happened in the Soviet Union. Absolutely not. Nobody would have done something this nonsensical. Nobody would have just sat there and just denied that a disease exists for the sake of scoring political points. It wouldn't have happened in China. It wouldn't have happened in the Soviet Union. It wouldn't have happened in Cuba. It wouldn't have happened in Vietnam. This is a uniquely capitalist phenomenon. It is. It's rightists and rightist governments that are denying that COVID is a real problem. I mean, you could even bend it a little bit and go to Boris Johnson, who blames other people for his own inaction. But at least he acknowledges that COVID exists. But I want you to think about that. Bolsonaro literally got corona, took his mask off when talking to people, and literally said masks are for homos. He literally said that. I'm not making that up. That's not even a joke. He said it. I want you to think about that. So the next time when someone tells you, oh, you're going to wear a mask, don't you believe the government cares? Do you think the government cares about you? Actually, you not wearing a mask is the government not caring about you. The government telling you you don't need one is them not caring about you. And it never ceases to amaze me that they'll say, don't you believe, the right-wingers will say, don't you believe, you believe that the government cares about you? They're out to get you. You do realize your guy is the president, right? You believe that the U.S. government is out to get you, but your guy is in the most powerful office in the entire country. I mean, I don't know if you realize that blatant contradiction there. It's, as an outsider looking in, you seem like one gigantic mental institution pretending to be a country. And then you have the old saying, the inmates running the asylum. That's kind of really what it looks like for those of us standing on the outside. You legitimately look insane. And you're a danger to yourselves. This is why you're basically not allowed to fly anywhere in the world, because nobody wants you there because you're a threat. And not even a threat because you're maliciously doing something, but because of your own incompetence. I mean, never mind the U.S. Army going on killing tens of millions of people. Let's talk about average tourists and business people in general. Your own incompetence makes you a danger. I'm really blown away by how completely ignorant the American people have been about this. I mean, I figured at least with a disease, oh, okay, well, we'll get ready for this. You got doomsday preppers all over the place, ready for the great pandemic that's going to wipe out the world. And then as soon as you get something that's, nowhere near that bad, they're all just calling it a hoax. It's also very strange to me because none of this makes any sense. And maybe there was really no definite point to this video, but I did just want to say Trump doesn't care about you, Even if you believe the government doesn't care about you, your guy is the one running it. And I don't know, man. He's your president. You're the ones that are going to have to do something about him.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.